Hello, Serge here for the Backyard Driving Range. All right, we have a question that came in, and this one is from Tom Bobrowski. And Tom says, I seem to execute the backswing properly into the mitt up the tree. However, on the following downswing, I often under-rotate so that the club is face open upon contact, causing a high floating shot to the right. He's a right-hander. If I try to force more rotation, let me say it again. If I try to force more rotation, I often pull hook the ball left. Help. Okay, this is an easy one. All right, we're going to go back to our physiology. All right, and we're going to define a few terms that we deal with in the golf swing. All right, and in terms of our setup, this is our toe line, and this will be our aiming line. Now we know that in the peak performance golf swing, when we stand up here and we get and address the ball, we want our toes, knees, hips, shoulders, and eyes to be parallel of our, and for a right-hander would be parallel left, for a left-hander would be parallel right of our aiming line, okay? Because we know that we're going to swing the arms in front of the body. So when we start our swing and we turn only to the toe line. We don't turn a big turn and get back in here, because I call everything behind this toe line the sacred burial ground, or sometimes I initial it SBG, sacred burial ground. The rule is, for the sacred burial ground, you may stand in it, but if you swing in it, you're dead. And my surgism for that also is that if you get in the sacred burial ground, golf is like life. What comes around, goes around. What goes straight back and up, comes straight down and goes straight back up. A lot easier, okay? So we're only going to turn to the toe line. Now, that's the physics that is the physics and the physiology, so to speak, of the golf swing. That we always keep the club in front of our body. Now, why do we do that? Because the only place we can swing our arms is in front of our body. We can't go through, we can't go behind. All right? And the only place when you swing them is when your arms are straight up and down. They only swing straight up and down. All right? So all you rotational folks, you can't go there because it doesn't go. And if it does, it's going to be very stressful and you can't go very far. But you can do this all day, all night, no problem, up and down. And when you go up and down, what do you see? When Dr. Armstrong finally told me about this, I had already figured out the 3/4. I had figured out the limited term, but I didn't know why. When I called him one night to answer, what do I feel going on through impact here, which is the ultimate answer to what Tom said about when he under releases, and then when he so to speak rotates too much, which I would therefore call over release, and I'm basing it all on the bottom hand, which would be right for a righty, the right hand for a right-handed player, and the left hand for a left-handed player. If our palms are perpendicular, right, when you come and you get into what I call the prayer position, your palms are perpendicular to the ground. And therefore, if you're perpendicular to the ground, and when you stand up like this, your palms stay perpendicular to the ground, and what do you see happen 2 times? They cross at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And when they cross, they'll always be up here and here, just like what we call the prayer position. When you go in church and you hold your hands like this, or if you got your hands sort of like this, you don't see anybody standing with their hands over here and near their right hip or their left hip, or way over the side. They stand right here. You put your hands, you see the soldiers, they stand there, their hands are over here. They're not over there or over there. Why? Because it's out of balance. It's out of dynamic balance. It's unnatural. Your body is not perfectly stable in terms of equal, both the muscles on both sides equal. Over here, what I got the whole left side is stretched and the right side is pushed outward, and vice versa. So it's always right in the middle. And so that's where you want impact, is getting back to right in the middle where everything's right here. Because if I stand here and I can swing my arms up like this, they clap, they clap. I go here, they rotate. Now, if I rotate, I can rotate too much and rotate the face up, but if I come through and allow the same rotation to that side, there's the lefts that Tom is talking about. If I let it rotate too much, maybe here on this side, and come through and I don't let it rotate enough, there's the open face and the rights he's talking about. And so we try to secure that by rotating more. The whole thing is you need just the right amount of rotation, just the right amount, just right. Okay? And what is just right? Palms perpendicular to the ground. So when we grip, we get our palms perpendicular grip, palms are perpendicular to the ground, the club face is square. We stand here, we take the club back into the catcher's mitt, toe up, Now, it's not exactly perfectly toe up because it would be perfectly toe up here, but as soon as I bend over, you see I lose about 15 degrees of the face. Because what? I bent over. Now, if you notice, in my mind, I think it's toe up. I feel like it's toe up, but I know it's about here. That angle is actually pretty much right in line with my spine angle. So I go in there, in my mind it's toe up. Once I reach the toe line, I go straight up the tree. I got a nice equilateral triangle up here. The club is vertical, it's light. Then what? The key is I'm going to step over to this side now. When I come back to impact, the arms are always going to rotate back to here at impact. The arms are connected to the shoulder and the ball and socket joint. They rotate. And the beauty of this is they can rotate independently like this, but when they get together, they are actually perfectly timed against each other, or as I like to call it, diametrically opposed. So whatever one does, the other one does exactly the opposite. And all we got to do is control how much of it is in this swing. And that means when I got my perpendicular palms to the ground, I just turn it back to the toe line, lift it straight up, let it fall back, swing it back down to impact and let it square up. And then from there, I allow it to go only toe up in the forward mitt and up. If I make it go, if I let it turn too far, it's going left. And after I hit a few of those and I hold on a little too much and the face is open, it's going right. So it's just toe up to toe up, and then toe over the shoulder, down and recoil, relax. Just like skipping a rock on a lake. If you just skip a rock, if you just swing around naturally, what's it going to do? It's going to, as you come back and let it lift, it's going to come straight up here, and it's going to go straight up there. Now again, if I came back here like this and I let my hand go back that way, the rock's going to slide. I'm going to throw the rock or a baseball over there if I'm throwing a ball. And if I come down and go and then conversely go too far that way, I'm going to flip it over there. But if I ding it straight back and straight up, just like bowlers go just like this, and dart throwers go like that, and pool players go straight through. Throw. When I was coaching Little League, I used to tell players that I've never played it through. I teach them how to hold the ball, and then when it's time to throw it, I just say, look where you throw where you look. And the best throw is always right over the top because everything stays nice and perpendicular the way the arms are designed to move. All right, so Tom, I think your big problem is that you've missed in the peak performance swing the toe up to toe up. We have just the right amount of rotation. And we can rotate, as I said, to the club more than flat up to more than flat down. But if you do all that, you're going to be forever living right and left, depending on, after you hit right, you hold on, you're going to release it, and then it's going to go too far left, over-release it, and then as you use the perfect term, and I always relate over to the bottom hand. Under means the palm is skyward. Over-release means it's going palm downward to the ground. We always want it palms perpendicular, okay? And so we control our rotations, and that rotation is probably, I've never truly measured it, but I'm guessing it's probably no more than a quarter of what we could really rotate to be palms perpendicular to the ground throughout the swing, what I call secret or rule number 2. You must keep the palms perpendicular to the ground throughout the swing. In the catcher's mitten up the tree, in the catcher's mitten up the tree, and that gives you the perfect amount of rotation to square the club up at impact, because our arms are connected to the ball and socket joint, and it'll square up at impact every time if you swing vertical and control your rotation to toe up, and you can even relate to your thumb. Thumbs up, toe out, thumbs out at impact, then toe up and thumbs up, and then over the shoulder. The thumbs and your toes, the toe of your club will always be in the same relationship throughout the swing, perpendicular to the ground. All right. Well, that's it for the search for today, discussing how we have to control the rotations, and we control it by palms perpendicular to the ground throughout the swing, rule number 2. And when you do that, you start hitting more solid, really a lot straighter, consistently, and help you shoot those lower scores. That's it for today, and I'll be talking with you all again soon.